Hey, Coach.
Man,
I don't have too many questions, but first one for you. What is the situation with Dontavia right now? And I know her it's very different. What was kind of going on with her?
oh, she's been kind of tweaked her ankle a couple games ago, and it's kind of gotten progressively worse. So the goal today was to try to not play her, but she could go for spot minutes if we needed her. So tried to hold her out as long as possible. But you could see even when we used her, there was a little bit of favor, like she was kind of favoring that leg a little bit. So hoping another couple of days of rest and we can have her for Miami. It's just a sensitive ankle right now. So she's kind of like a day to day.
Was the decision to play her after halftime, was that just kind of based on game flow, or was that something?
Definitely, it was kind of like trying to decide, the goal is we want to try to get her to 100%, which she's not. So, the ultimate goal today was try to try to win the game without her and let her rest because that's really what she needed. But, she's kind of saying, hey, I can go. And the trainer said, hey, try her out. So that's kind of where we were there.
And the biggest thing, at least that I know, is just from looking at numbers and stuff, points to paint was way down. Your team's really good at getting into paint, and I think you had 18 today. What was the challenge, and was Dontavia's absence part of the additional challenge with not having a lot?
Yeah, I think they packed it in pretty good on us, and I also just think that their pressure was good. They out hustled. Credit goes a little bit to Clemson with they had high hands and kind of pressured our guards, and they really did leave us open for a lot of. I thought maybe one or two shots were open, but I thought the majority of the shots we took were open threes. But it was just not our night making those shots, and our adjustment needed to be get more into that high-low action. But when we tried, it seemed to lead into a turnover or a charge. So we just gotta get a little bit smarter on the offensive end and take advantage of what the defense is giving us, while also not turning the ball over.
And my last question, a little bit into that, Team Air and Tiana, it seemed like Clemson had really good guard defenders. It seemed like they affected both of those two for a lot of the game. What is the lesson learned for those two, just dealing with those kind of pesky guards?
Right. I think it's going to be a lot of, it kind of changes in the non-conference play, which is the last time Tiana was in really. Every hand check was called, right? But now we're in ACC play, and they let at times you play a little bit more physical, and that's an adjustment as young players. It really is two different games, and they have to start adjusting and understanding that they can't play for the foul. They have to play through it and play strong, and really everybody has to move. And I think sometimes when we get pressured right now as a young team, we tend to stand around as opposed to cutting and making things happen off the ball. So our offense needs to progress against the zone. And that's why I told them we worked the last couple of days on some adjustments versus zone, and we looked really good in practice. But the carryover, once the lights were on, it almost didn't happen. And I do think that is a signature move of freshmen and sophomores. And I think if they were juniors and seniors out there, they would have been really sharp with that carryover. But when you only have 2 days to practice on something, then you go to try to have that carryover. They looked young today, and that's frustrating because we're mid-season form, and those young players are playing. They should really be like sophomores and juniors, and that's what we talked about it. I know they're as frustrated as I am with this game, just because it was a frustrating game.
When you have games like this, when you're struggling to find your shot, the calls are going against you, what can you do to sort of reset and reassess to find more success in the future?
In the future, that's what we just talked about. I think a little fatigue is setting in too, because we played such a short bench. And I don't think it's physical fatigue necessarily. I think it's like today, a lot of our mistakes were so mental that I think I want to go to we have 10 players, barring Dontavia is able to go, right? So that's 10 players. I would like to see us get a little bit of a bigger rotation and really just start to play and kind of get our energy and put the momentum back on our side a little bit. So that's kind of how we're going to adjust to it.